It's farm weekend, so I brought the skid steer home. Got Betty in the drag line. Not going to use the drag line for any of my fence line stuff, but I cleared the perimeter fence line around here end of last year, first part of this year. It was really wet and it's finally dried out enough, and I've finally made enough time where I'm going to take the skid steer and go around there and level everything up and clean it up. I have that pile of topsoil that I dumped in the back corner right there that I'm going to run down that tree line. If you remember last year, I took the 953 and cleared all those trees off that edge where those stump holes have settled down, and all the off-road truck driving that went around there hauling all that dirt has kind of rutted it up a little bit. So I'm going to take all that, I'll probably take Betty and spread that dirt out, and then take the skid steer and clean it up nice and pretty. The millet that I planted didn't come up that good. I don't know what happened. I think the ground was too dry and it went like a week and didn't rain, so I don't know what happened, but I got to get this field sprayed and let that do what it's going to do, and then go ahead and plant my hay crop this fall. So that's the plan for today. Take the skid steer, go down there and work on that fence line, then take Betty and spread that topsoil out, grade it out with the skid steer, and then work on that pile of clay down there, running it down that side of the fence line and raising that road up. So lots to do today. So this is what I'm going to try to get graded out here. I'm going to run to the back and finish that up first, and then try to get that topsoil moved over here to fill all these holes in and just level this up so that it's a lot smoother. And then spread the rest of that topsoil over the edge of the field right here and get all this where it will grow something. So I came down here last night before it got dark and ran over this some, just trying to grade all this out. If you'll remember, I dumped this out, then took the D6 and pushed it all down through here. It was really wet, couldn't do much with it. Well, just trying to get it slicked up. As you can tell, that would be a nice edge for a fence line there. And I'm gonna head on off to the back down here and finish slicking all that up. Well, they shouldn't have any problems running the fence down through here now. So I got this cleaned up. Still a little squishy down here. So you can see when we had a huge flood there a while back, it came raging through here pretty good. And I think I figured out why. There's a few spots in the creek that are clogged up. I'll probably do that tomorrow, bring the mini excavator down here and unclog them. but the ditch is over here, and it seems like it gets some stuff in it, and then the water backs up and pours over the bank. So I was trying to push some stuff up right here. Of course, it's nice and dry right now, but then you end up with a big tree in it right there, and it kind of makes it plug up. So I may run over here with the Mini tomorrow and unclog that. But I'm gonna go up there and get Betty and start bringing some of that topsoil down the field. So fence will come pretty much right directly straight through here, then a 45 through there, and then back over there to the other corner back there. So I cut a little path right there to be able to drive around it, because I was trying to work around all these great big hardwood trees when I was cutting the trail in here, and right in here there was a lot. I didn't want to knock them down, so I'll end up, if I got to make another path around through there, I can bush hog or mulch all that mess down. So I like it. Let's go get Betty and move some topsoil. I love moving dirt with Betty. It's like a small dump truck load every time you dump a bucket full out. That's a big scoop of dirt. All right, I got about 6 or 7 more to move. I'll spread this out right through here and I'll go get on the skid steer and dress it all up, make it look pretty. Well, Betty got that knocked out quickly. I'm gonna take the skid steer here. Betty does not grade very good. Betty moves a lot of dirt quick, but Betty does not grade very good. So I'm gonna take the skid steer and run through all this and level it up, get this section of fence and path graded out. Well, that looks a lot better. Look at a little dust tornado down there. So all that topsoil is spread out through here now. Kind of help with the fill. I'll run the ruckus rake over that. Fluff that up a little bit, probably tomorrow. Park Betty down here. I'm going to start taking some of that clay and run it down the property line to fill in a low area down there, and I'll walk down there and show you that real quick. So I got that big pile of dirt right there from when I dug the pond. I probably need to throw a pipe in right here, but I'm going to leave it open for right now because that's where everything drains out of that field. I'm going to bring Betty. It started getting kind of wet in here last time, but I'm going to bring it as far as I can and dump it out, see where that standing water is, see if I can't come in here with the skid steer and raise this up a little bit to fill this in some. And that it should still drain down this edge right here over into the ditch, or I may have to put another little low spot in right there, but I'm just going to try to get this raised up because it stays so wet through here that you can't even hardly drive down here. And the good thing is this clay does not really grow anything, so hopefully it'll keep the weeds down and just get covered in leaves is what I would like. So we shall see. See how wet this is and move some dirt. going to be a wrap for today. I've burnt almost a full tank of fuel out of this skid steer. I've gone all the way around the property, cleaning the fence line up, getting it leveled out since it's finally dry. And I just took Betty and brought all that clay down here, dumped it out, and then I've come in here with the skid steer and slicked it up. This stuff is still really wet. I figured it would have dried out some, and it did on the surface of the pile, but when you pile up dirt wet, it normally stays pretty wet, especially when it's 12, 14 feet tall there, a pile of dirt. So I spread this out. It should dry out a little bit. Hopefully I can run back over here before they do start on the fence, whenever that is, and touch it up a little bit more. And I may grab a 12-inch pipe and put it in right here and cover it up, since I don't need to take Betty across there anymore to bring dirt in there. I just know that thing weighs so much it probably would have crushed it. But I'm gonna take the skid steer, dig that out a little bit, and that's going to be it for grading the fence line and field.